Reddit is a platform where people can share their stories and experiences with the world. While many posts are lighthearted and humorous, others are more serious and cautionary. November 2nd, 2022, Reddit user Pale Jellyfish went onto the RIB subreddit and posted the following. Creepy gift left on my doorstep. So a few weeks ago, I found a purple bag left on my doorstep. Thinking maybe my partner had left me a surprise, I went and grabbed it. Well, it definitely wasn't for my partner, but it was a surprise. In the bag was a and a packet of lube, some loose batteries, 3 pairs of panties, and a note. Pale Jellyfish included pictures of the contents which I have blurred out, as well as a separate picture of the note that was included in the bag. The note reads, "You are yum and awesome. Just go solo, it's easier. Waterproof so the lady weeks are easier." Then the OP goes on to say, "I have a vague feeling it might be my neighbor who often watches me and makes weird remarks to me, but I have no actual proof. I tried going to the police and they made note of the incident, but basically told me they couldn't do anything and that I should get a security camera and trust my gut about who did it. I know this neighbor has been in some kind of trouble with the police before, and I've heard from a girl that I know he has a habit of harassing women. It's creepy enough on its own, but what makes it even weirder is the panties are similar to the ones I bought a few months earlier, but those specific ones have been in my ASOS wishlist since the end of last year-ish. I don't remember showing anyone them. So I'm not sure if it's just a coincidence or if this person has some of my passwords to different accounts. This is unsettling, as OP stated the panties she was given were ones she had planned on buying in the future. She stated it could be a coincidence, but if someone is obsessing and stalking her, it is possible that they may have gained access to her phone." Pale Jellyfish finished her post with the following. "I'm definitely in the process of trying to find some security cameras that I can afford, but I was wondering what options I have here. Is there any way I can do some digging to figure out if it was the guy I think it was, or even find out more info about him? And even if I do, if I find out it was him or catch him in my doorstep, can anything be done?" User Tandem Camel responded to her with some helpful advice. "In terms of cameras, the Waze Cam is only around $30 and works well. Do you trust your landlord or any neighbors other than the shady one? Might be helpful to give someone else a heads up and have them keep their eyes open and help document too. Is your name on your apartment mailbox or by your doorbell? If so, it might be worthwhile to remove or change it if possible to see if that deters anything. Do you have any ex-partners who might do this kind of thing? In that case, I would be careful with your online accounts. Otherwise, maybe coincidence. In case you do need to take more action down the road, be sure to document anything else that happens and update the police." To which OP responded with, "Thank you. Unfortunately, I can't really trust any of my neighbors. There's one that is semi-okay, but I haven't seen him in months, so now I'm not sure if he even lives in my complex anymore. Thankfully, no name or anything on my apartment or mailbox, and I keep my mailbox locked at all times so it can't be snooped through. In terms of ex-partners, it's a possibility, but I haven't had any contact with any of them since things ended, and it didn't end in a particularly bad or messy way. It's definitely something I'm going to consider though. Thank you." User Pencap replied with, "This makes me think the person doing this is a peeping Tom," to which Pale Jellyfish responded, "Oh, 100%, which matches up with the fact he told me he can see when I'm up late at night, and when my neighbor confirmed he was told the same thing." Also stated in a separate reply about her experience with the police, "I did give them some info on the other run-ins I had with him, all of which are either him watching me from the street, going through my garbage, or incessantly asking if I'm by myself and to come over to his house or let him into mine. And I actually made a call to the police about a week ago now, because he and another neighbor got into an altercation over him being too loud, and he ended up getting pretty aggressive, and from what I can tell was threatening her. Cops showed up and they continued to bicker back and forth for a while until the police left after doing seemingly nothing. Super helpful of them." Her final update on the situation: "Hi. I had a run-in today with a different neighbor, which is bringing up the question of which one was it, but so far things with the original guy are mostly quiet. He's been a little weird, watching me a few times as I leave my apartment, but he hasn't approached me, thankfully." The police seem to be of no help to Pale Jellyfish. Hopefully the situation doesn't escalate and whatever person is harassing her leaves her alone. Installing security cameras will hopefully deter or at least provide more information on the creep. But as of the time of this recording, it's been 4 months and we have no further updates. The story of an anonymous user who recounts their experience with biker gang debt was shared on r/Let's Not Meet on October 5th of 2022. The post starts off like this: "I owed a biker gang $260K and ran. This is a true story, hence the throwaway account, and it's one of the first times I've ever told it to anyone. The post is mod verified, indicating that the OP provided proof to validate his story. In this part of the post, the OP reveals that they had a short history of dealing drugs in the past, but had gotten clean and was working 3 jobs to save for college. However, Tragedy struck when a close relative was murdered, and the cost of returning their body to their home country and arranging a funeral fell on the OP and 2 other relatives. Feeling financially strained and desperate for a way to make money, OP reached out to a mutual friend, Josh, who had a relative named Mike that was a member of a biker gang. OP set up a meeting with Mike to discuss business and gathered a team of hand-picked dealers at their house. Mike arrived with 2 pounds of weed, and OP's plan was to distribute the drug to the runners while working their regular jobs to make a passive income. Despite the risk of getting involved with the biker gang, OP took the opportunity, feeling young, stupid, and wanting to replace the lost feeling with something that would make them feel better about themselves at the time. In this part of the post, OP described how his business was running smoothly and making a lot of money. OP was on vacation, and before they left, it seems they left a larger amount of product than usual with one of the runners. However, she ran out of the product and was unable to pay the full amount owed when OP returned. Although the OP was upset, they trusted their friend and decided to recover the loss on their own. Unfortunately, this caused OP to be late for a meeting with Mike, the biker gang member who had supplied the product. This delay would have unforeseen and serious consequences for the OP. The next part goes as follows. Now, remember when I said that you should never trust a biker unless you operate on the inside? I met up with Mike to let him know what happened, apologized for being late, and informed him that the situation had been dealt with. But Mike was furious. He tells me that because I was late, he was late for his meeting with the Connect for the weed, and since he was late, his Connect would never deal with him again. He told me to meet him at Josh's house and bring whoever was responsible for making me late, and if I didn't bring them, then I would be held accountable, because this Connect had made him $5,000 a week in profit. Yeah, you read that right. This man told me that him being late once dissolved a profitable relationship with a Connect that earned him $5,000 a week. I already knew what this meant for my runner. We were really good friends, and there's no way I was going to allow a single mother to go through what I knew was coming. So I showed up to Josh's house on my own and waited for Mike. It seems as though the OP decided to take the blame for himself in an effort to spare his friend from the consequences. I sat on Josh's couch for what felt like hours, by myself, and uncertain of the extent of what was going to happen. But then Mike walks in, greets Josh, talks with his partners a bit, while completely ignoring me. First 5 minutes go by, then 10 minutes. In this next section of the post, OP describes how they were brutally attacked by Mike. Mike hit the OP across the head and continued to beat them for several minutes, causing the OP to lose consciousness. When OP regained consciousness, Mike threatened them with a handgun and demanded payment of $260,000, the profit he would have made from his Connect every week for the next year. He gave the OP a deadline to make the payments and seized his car. OP realized that Mike planned to use them as a human ATM and exploit them until he had a reason to get rid of them. So I went home and thought about my options. I had around $17,000 in cash, my RRSP savings which amounted to just over $35,000, but even that would only get me by on the payments for a week. I realized that even if I was able to come up with half of the money, I would end up in jail or worse. After 24 hours of deliberating, I considered the fact that Mike had never met any of my runners. My family had moved away from town after the death of my relative. There was no way that I was going to risk my life or freedom for some arbitrary debt, so I took all my cash, made my savings available, and I knew I only had 24 hours to run as fast and as far as I could. With seemingly no other options, OP decides it's best to flee and get as far away from Mike as possible. OP describes the timeline of their escape. At 4:30 a.m., they gathered clothes, called a friend for help, and took a bus to the Greyhound station. After purchasing a ticket for a city with an airport, they removed the battery from their phone and began their escape. At 12:30 p.m., they arrived in a new city, where they cut their hair and adopted a new name. However, at 8 p.m., while checking their Facebook, they discovered that their former associates had kicked in their door and were actively looking for them. In the final section of the post, the OP reflects on the aftermath of their encounter with the gang and how it affected their life. They describe how they had to change their identity, constantly move around, and cut off contact with friends and family due to the danger they faced from the gang. They also discovered that the gang leader, Mike, had a pattern of exploiting dealers for money and then disposing of them, even resorting to murder in some cases. Despite the trauma of this experience, OP claims to have made positive changes in their life, including getting a good job, owning a home, and being engaged. This Reddit post brought attention to a channel with a chilling account of abuse and manipulation. According to the post, Pet Limitless is a fake animal rescue channel that has been reusing the same kittens in many videos for fake stories and fake rescues to gain views and to make profit. But the post goes much further than that, detailing allegations of staged abuse and even murder. The post goes as followed. I'm so sorry to be posting this, but I just don't know what else to do. I've seen so many other similar posts of fake animal rescues on YouTube, and this is one of them. The channel name is Pet Limitless, It's another fake animal rescue channel that abuses kittens and pretends to rescue them for views. He's reusing the same kittens in many videos for fake stories and fake rescues to gain views and profit. In one of his last videos, he staged a fake story of a kitten getting poisoned, which he probably did himself, and either killed or buried it alive. I and others have reported him on YouTube, but no action has been taken yet, and I just don't know what to do. Please, the more he gets away with it, the more he will endanger kittens and animals, as evident by his latest videos. Please help reporting him and raising the issue. Please check this video on how to report animal abuse content on YouTube, either for selected videos or the channel itself. Please help save innocent kittens and animals from this guy. Please. The OP provides a link to the scam channel which takes you to the page. At first glance, it appears as if it's a wholesome pet channel, but if the allegations that the OP is saying are true, it paints a much more sinister picture. Despite reports from the OP and other users, no action has been taken by YouTube and the channel remains up. In the post, there are multiple links to videos on how to identify these sorts of scams. I'll be providing them in the description. We also get an update on the kitten. Found the earlier video of the same kitten the guy had later claimed he found on the road with foam next to it, meaning that 100% the kitten was in his care. 100% is the same kitten, and 100% he is responsible for its death, burying it while fake crying on the video. That kitten didn't deserve that death. This appears to be the same kitten alive in his care. Found clues that the guy responsible lives in Vietnam. This makes it difficult as there are no animal protection laws there, and might make it difficult to find or catch him. However, I am trying to see if there are any animal rescue groups there who I can contact to see if they can do anything with relation to this guy. A long shot, but it's better than anything. If the page owner is in fact in Vietnam, then contacting authorities could prove to be difficult, but what you can do as an individual is report the channel and their videos, in hopes they get demonetized and no longer have the incentive to exploit these animals. At the end of the post, we see that PETA has gotten involved, informing us that they are in the process of contacting YouTube and urging people to report this kind of behavior. These posts show the potential dangers and real-world consequences of online interaction and criminal activity. It's important to be aware of these issues and take action to report and prevent them. These stories serve as cautionary tales and reminders to be vigilant and cautious of our online and offline interactions.